Hello, I am Srijana. In this chapter, the Blue God tells us that the key to ascension is love for the Supreme Almighty with a clear physical image of what that looks like. What is your image of God? The Bhagavad Gita is a story of wisdom and ascension, a classic of Hindu philosophy. Everything is symbolic, so if we open our eyes and ears, it's directly relevant to our challenges today. This epic outlines the laws of nature, science, religion, life, and death, as these laws never change. It describes techniques from ancient scriptures thousands of years before Christ, by which people can ascend to higher dimensions to attain freedom from the cycle of death and rebirth. With each chapter, the Gita lessons become clearer and more focused. Just enjoy and listen with an open mind as you would hear a story. Once upon a time, in a faraway land, gods ruled the earth, and all learning took place in the form of stories and sacred verses passed down with each generation. The warrior prince Arjuna and his chariot driver, the god Krishna, stand before a vast battlefield where thousands of warriors are assembled, and Arjuna must kill half of his family lineage. He's horrified and refuses to fight. Krishna tells him how to focus his mind in a higher understanding in which he will be more powerful, bring benefit to his family, and incur no sin or karma in killing. Arjuna listens and finally accepts his destiny to fight the battle. He and his brothers win and ultimately ascend to the heavenly realms. In this chapter, he explains that love is the key. Krishna is the Supreme Almighty that shows up on the earth plane as a blue-colored being whenever the laws of nature and goodness are lost. He says, if you want happiness and freedom from the cycle of death and rebirth, love of God is the number one key. This is somewhat parallel to the Christian Ten Commandments. However, it was Jesus Christ who talked about love. Krishna also says it's best to choose a physical form for God. If you're an embodied person, you need a face or a shape to put on God, as it's more difficult to focus one's mind in meditation and worship of the unimaginable. It is hard to meditate on something formless. When you can see it and visualize, even with your imagination, you can achieve more purity of mind. There's no mention of God as male or female, since it is understood that the supreme power includes both and neither, therefore it is beyond duality. He also says love for God can also be expressed by infusing your actions with love. You can concentrate on detachment or indifference to the results of your actions and just offer your best to the supreme power. Expressing love through actions brings you freedom. Krishna claims that his favorite people are those who demonstrate kindness, always serene, unmoved by pain or pleasure, who show equanimity no matter what the circumstances. These are the ones most loved by Krishna. As you listen to the verses of chapter 12, I invite you to ponder these questions. What does God say is the most important key to achieve ascension, freedom from the cycle of death and rebirth? Why is it best for embodied persons to choose a physical form for God? Why is it more difficult to achieve freedom when you have no physical image of God? What is your personal image of the Supreme Almighty Power? Is it like a human form, a light, a geometric form? What are your favorite quotes from this chapter to remember for life lessons? What parallel events in the modern world illustrate these concepts? Now, let's listen to the verses in chapter 12. Arjuna asked, "Between those who are steadfastly devoted to your personal form and those who worship the formless Supreme, who do you consider to be more perfect path?" The Blessed Lord said, "Those who fix their minds on me and always engage in my devotion with steadfast faith, I consider them to be on the best path. But those who worship the formless aspect of the Absolute Truth, the imperishable, the indefinable, the unmanifest, the all-pervading, unthinkable, unchangeable, eternal, and immovable, those who restrain their senses and remain even-minded everywhere, engaged in the welfare of all beings, also attain me. For those whose minds are attached to the formless, the path of realization is full of tribulations. Worship of that without form is exceedingly difficult for embodied beings. But those who dedicate all their actions to me, regarding me as the supreme goal, worshiping me and meditating on me with exclusive devotion, O Parth, I swiftly deliver them from the ocean of birth and death, for their consciousness is united with me. Fix your mind on me alone and surrender your intellect to me. Thereupon you will always live in me. Of this there is no doubt. If you are unable to fix your mind steadily on me, O Arjuna, then practice remembering me with devotion, while constantly restraining the mind from worldly affairs. If you cannot practice remembering me with love, then try to work for me. Thus, performing devotional service to me, you shall achieve the stage of perfection. If you are unable even to work for me in devotion, then try to renounce the fruits of your actions and be situated in the self. Knowledge is better than mechanical practice. Meditation is better than knowledge. To renounce the fruits of actions is best, for peace immediately follows such renunciation. Devotees dear to me are those who love all living beings, who are friendly and compassionate. They are unattached to possessions and egotism, balanced in happiness and distress, ever forgiving. They are ever contented, steadily united with me in devotion, self-controlled, firm in conviction, and dedicated to me in mind and intellect. Those who do not annoy others and not agitated by anyone, equal in pleasure and pain, free from fear and anxiety, such devotees of mine are very dear to me. Those who are indifferent to worldly gain, pure inside and out, skillful, free of worry, trouble, and selfishness in all their actions, such devotees of mine are very dear to me. Those who neither rejoice in mundane pleasures nor despair in worldly sorrows, who neither lament for any loss nor hanker for any gain, who renounce both good and evil deeds, such persons who are full of devotion are very dear to me. Those who treat friend and foe the same, show equanimity in honor and dishonor, cold and heat, joy and sorrow, and are free from all negative influences. Those who take praise and blame the same, who are given to silent contemplation, content with what comes their way. Those without attachment to where they live, with intellect firmly fixed in me, full of devotion to me, such persons are very dear to me. Those who appreciate this nectar of wisdom declared here, have faith in me, and are devoted and focused on me as the supreme goal, They are exceedingly dear to me.